So my name is Hudson. I'm with the Wine Foundation. We formed this foundation in 2016. And really the primary purpose of the Wine Foundation is to go out and develop relationships with nonprofit organizations, charitable organizations, some for-profit organizations. Like we just did a wine tasting event at 11 Spa in Delray Beach. We did one at Pierre Salon, which was a high-end hair salon. We usually, if we're going to target smaller merchants like that, typically they're 4-star, 5-star merchants. They usually have their own client list. So one of the things that we do is we do a co-marketing initiative with these merchants or charitable organizations. And what we do is we say, we'll come in, we'll supply the wines. Sometimes we provide cheeses and crackers, some light food to go with the wine. But typically we supply the wine for free. And in return, what we do is we create a co-marketing message, a graphic. Usually because they have their own lists, email lists. So what we do is we create a co-marketed invite for the event. We try to put the events 2 to 3, sometimes 4 weeks out in the distance so that we have time to market for these events. And so we'll do a creative for the venue, for the nonprofit, for the profit. And it basically is a message that says something like, you know, you're invited to a VIP wine tasting event at 11 Spa on 11/11/2016 at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And so when they send that message out, we have it tied to what's called Eventbrite. You're probably familiar with Eventbrite because I had you register so we knew who was coming. So Eventbrite gives us the opportunity to kind of gauge how many people are going to be attending the event, so we know the amount of wine to bring and so forth. And we try to keep the events, you know, depending on if it's a small merchant, like the hair salon, we try to keep it around 25 to 50 people, because the whole idea is not to give away free wine. The idea is, yeah, we give away the free wine to get the people in the door, but the idea is to sell our wine club memberships. Because although we have no problem giving away the wine for free, the idea is to have a couple of our sales reps work in the room so that they can spend time with the people that are there to have a good time, right? Not necessarily want to buy, they just want to drink wine. But our job is to put the right salespeople into those venues so that they can go and you know, explain what the wine club is to the potential prospects that are in there. And you know, so what we offer is a 2-bottle. Come on in.
Kind of got off.
No worries, no worries. So what we offer is a 2 or 4-bottle dropship program. So we have partnerships with 2,000 small boutique vineyards throughout the world. So we work with the little guys. So every month it's like Christmas. You'll get a box like this. Matter of fact, we did breast cancer awareness for the whole month of October. So all of our wines shipped to the customers' doors in these pink boxes as a, you know, as a not a tribute, but supporting breast cancer awareness. So we donated a portion of our proceeds back to that organization. So I just did an event at 11 Spa last week. It was for 300 people for the Wounded Warrior Foundation. So we had over 300 guests there. It was an amazing event. So, you know, we get to hobnob with the who's who out there, you know, in South Florida. We do this all over the United States, but getting back to the vineyards. So our vineyards, we have partnerships, like I said, with 2,000 small boutique vineyards. We only work with the little guys. And so every month, the customer receives 2 bottles or 4 bottles. It's $50 for 2 bottles, and it's $80 for 4 bottles. And no shipping, no tax, no handling fees. It's straight to their door for $50 or $80. There's no contracts that they have to sign. There's no obligation for a term or anything like that. They can quit whenever they want. And they get to experience wines that they typically wouldn't experience. Like if I go to Total Wine, you know, although I don't drink, if I were to go into Total Wine, probably a clerk or somebody working the wine aisle is going to suggest wines to me, usually based on price. You know, so you can buy $2 Chuck, wine in the box, Yellowtail. Those are typically what we call cheap wines. You know, they're under the $10 to $15 mark. So So those are what we call cheap wines. Then we have what we call fine wines or premium wines, and they fall into the category of a $20 to $30 bottle range. So that's where we fall. We're a fine wine, a premium wine, an artesian wine. And what's nice is because we only work with the little vineyards, and we're able to help sustain those smaller vineyards because we're moving so much volume through our club. Our mission, our vision is to become the world's largest wine club through word-of-mouth marketing. We don't advertise. What we do is we have a couple of methodologies in how we promote our club. But one of those is, again, through nonprofits and charity organizations. So what we'll do is we'll set them up with a white labeled or private labeled website. If you're familiar with what that means, that term, white label, private label, it just means that we reskin it or rename it. It could be Susan Komen Wine Club. Could be Betty Ford Wine Club. Can be Pierre Salon Wine Club. Could be Billy Bob's Wine Club. Doesn't really matter to us what they call the wine club. The idea is to give them a website, merchant account, a way to accept orders for these club memberships, and then we pay them on a weekly basis for any aggregation of memberships. So if a customer went to Debbie's website and ordered a 2-bottle membership, she would be paid the following week, or her organization would be paid the following week a commission on that 2-bottle or 4-bottle order. We also have the opportunity when we do the white labeling for the merchant or the nonprofit, we charge $5. We have 2 packages. We have a $250 or a $500. The only difference is the amount of wine. The website and mobile app remain the same, but the $250 is 4 bottles, and the $500 is 12 bottles. And so the difference would be the type of merchant size. If they're a large location, they're probably going to need 12 bottles to service their wine event for that month, versus a smaller hair or nail salon that might be able to service that wine tasting with 4 bottles. So the only difference is in the number of bottles that they start with, and then there's a discount opportunity for them. So if this person bought the $250 package and they need to order more wine for, let's say, a month later, they want to do another wine event, they get a 20% discount on our cases. So our case runs around $250 for a case of wine, free shipping, same thing with the smaller orders. But with a 20% discount, you get $50 off. So this merchant needs to order more wine for next month because they're doing their own wine tasting event, or it's a nonprofit doing an event, and they go in their back office, they order a case of wine, they're going to get $50 off that $250, so it's going to be $200 instead of $250. The ones that came in at the $500 package and started with the 12 bottles, they get a 40% discount. So for the organizations that are going to be doing these wine tasting events, let's say on a monthly basis, and the reason they do these events on a monthly basis is all these nonprofit and charitable organizations are looking for additional ways to make revenue, new ways to make revenue. Okay? The wine club goes hand in hand with what they do because it's a social event. It's usually women, lots of women, and they usually like to drink wine. So it goes hand in hand. These club memberships for charitable organization are promoted once a month. So that 40% discount gives them $100 off. So instead of paying $250 for a case, they're getting it now for $150 a case, 12 bottles, because I don't know, I'm not good at math, but what about $13 a bottle, something like that. So it's a very cost-efficient way for them to host these wine tasting events and raise more money by offering the 2- and 4-bottle club memberships. Does anybody have a question on what I just said? It's pretty easy, right? So I know we don't have anybody in here that's looking for salary position for wine pours, but what we do is we try to keep the quality of the wine and the event to a VIP status. We want it to always come from the top, not the bottom. And so the event I had just recently was 300 guests. So we did have to go to a plastic cup with a stem, but I prefer the glassware when we do our events, only because it keeps it more classier. These are 3-ounce glasses, so each bottle is 24 ounces. So when we do a 2-ounce pour, we get 12 servings per bottle. And when you pour 2 ounces in a 3-ounce glass, a full glass, just about, right? So to the person receiving it, you know, they're like, oh, it's a full glass. They're not like, it's not like a big glass and you get a little ounce, you know, where they're a little thrown off by the ratio. But we like to keep stemware, try to keep it crystal clean, so that, and then we try to provide a wash bin, because if there's 50 people and 36 glasses, we're going to run out of glasses. So typically one of the servers will wash while the other one serves or pours. And we pay $20 an hour for our servers. They usually work an event for us for about 3 hours. Our events usually are from like 7 to 9, 7:30 to 8:30, something like that, somewhere in those hours. And we usually give them 3 hours. So 2 hours to work the event, half an hour to set up, half an hour to break down. So they're guaranteed 3 hours. And we do these events once a week in the Tri-County area. So, you know, Palm Beach will do 3 events in a week. Broward will do 3 events in a week. Dade will do 3 events in a week. So that's the server side. That's somebody that just wanted to be a wine pourer. Basically, they just talk about the wines to the people coming up to get the wine. Kind of nonchalantly talk about, you know, that, you know, our whole premise is to drop ship wines to your door every month. But more importantly, we have people that are in business development and sales that are working the room. Because the people that are attending these nonprofit and charitable organizations, they're usually CEOs, they're high-level executives, and you know, to get to them normally through traditional marketing efforts is very hard. But getting them in an environment that's very, you know, their guard's down, they're drinking, they're social, it's a lot easier to approach these nonprofit and charitable organizations. So when I did the event for the Wounded Warriors last week, a week before that, I did an event for the 50 most influential women in South Florida. 50. So all these women, you know, I actually worked that event, so I actually served the wine. I like to do these events myself because I like socializing. I like meeting the who's who in South Florida. You never know who you're going to meet. But anyways, I met this woman, and she just so happens to represent hundreds of nonprofits worldwide. And she's like, I love this idea. When can we meet? So just by her coming to this event, we making some small talk. She's like, I love this idea. How can I get this into our nonprofits? And so boom, I have a meeting with her next week. I also have a lady that's the chairman and CEO of the Tri-County Pet Animal Rescue. She loves this idea. She's like, what a great way to raise funds for our shelter. You know what I mean? So and that's a big place, right? That's a pretty well-known establishment. So, you know, the Wounded Warrior Foundation, breast cancer awareness, there's all kinds of things we can do with the nonprofits, and they love the idea because they're looking for different ways to make money. All right? So, do you have any questions on the wines, types of people we market to, how we develop relationships with these entities? Is there any questions? Because this is a small group, so I'd rather, you know, keep it intimate if you can.
I kind of think like my GPS took me in the wrong direction.
Yeah, no worries.
If you can just give me a brief what I have missed.
Yeah, so I don't know what you missed, but I will start kind of in the beginning. So the Wine Foundation was formed in 2016. Our primary mission is to become the largest wine club in the world through word-of-mouth marketing. We don't do any kind of advertising. What we do is we form relationships with nonprofits, charitable organizations. We do work with for-profits as well, depending on the type of venues. So we do venues like usually it needs to be a venue of a 4 or 5-star caliber, and usually it's a venue that already serves wine, because I left this caveat out. I'm glad you brought that up. But the caveat is the merchants that already serve wine, like hair salons, lady boutiques, exotic car dealerships, what else? Art galleries. These venues already serve wine. So when we approach the merchant and say, listen, it's probably a headache to have to go out and buy that wine every month. And you probably don't know what to buy, so you just buy whatever. So it's I can save you in the aggravation of having to go out and buy it every month, because I can have it just drop ship it to your door. So now you don't have to go out and buy it. 2, you already serve this wine to your customers. So we can provide a white label website called, Ferrari Wine Club. So now when your customers come in to look at the Ferraris and drink your free wine, you can drop on them, hey, if they say, hey, where did this wine come from? I love these wines. They can promote the wine club. And if they get just 3 customers, doesn't matter when they get them. Could be, a month, could be in 6 months, could be over a period of a year. But if they get 3 customers, 3 club members, 2 bottles or 4 bottles, doesn't matter, they get their 4 bottles shipped to them every month for free. So we're the only wine club in North America that offers a refer 3 and your wine is free. So they love that. Because now that you eliminated the aggravation of having to go buy the wine, and now they get their wine for free every month that they're serving anyways, and it just became another profit center for them. So,
What nonprofits have you worked with?
breast cancer awareness, Wounded Warrior Foundation, hundreds of them. I mean, they're on our website if you want to go through them. But the ones I just did recently, we just did a party for 300 Wounded Warriors last week. The week before that was for FIG, which is Female Igniters Group, which was for the 50 of the South Florida most influential women. We just did one for a medical, she owns a medical laser surgery center, so we did it for her clientele. So really, we'll do a free wine tasting. So what we do is we go online, we go to Google, we type in 5-star spa, 5-star hair salon, 5-star this, 5-star that. We click on maps, gives us a list of possible merchants. We call them, we look at their websites first to make sure they're the caliber we're looking for, right? We want to know that they have the kind of clientele that's going to want to come to a wine tasting party. So you got to really think outside the box when you're doing this. But at the end of the day, we find the merchant, we call them up. I say, hey, Bruce, listen, I just saw your spa. I said, kudos to you. That is the most beautiful spa I've ever seen. I would love to host a free wine tasting party at your establishment. Would you be open to something like that? What do you think they'd all say?
Sure.
9 out of 10 say absolutely. Love to do that. What do we got to do? Yeah. So getting them to do a wine tasting party is not that difficult. So on the sales side, contacting the merchant, getting them to agree to do the party, setting the date. The most important part of that party is the invite, which we co-brand. This is probably what you missed. What we do is most merchants have their own customer list, right? So what we do is we create an email creative, co-branded. So it could be breast cancer awareness and Bob's Ferrari are co-hosting a wine event, and you are invited to it. It's going to be December 7th at 7 p.m. You're cordially invited. Up to 2 guests. Register here. That email invite goes out to his customer list. The link that they click is an Eventbrite, probably what you filled out that I had you fill out to come to this event. So what that does is it gives us a tracking of how many people are actually registered to come to the event. And then we can continually, you probably received several emails from me promoting this, right? Trying to get people show up. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and we all understand that. Typically our wine tasting parties, you invite 10, 15 show up because they bring friends. I mean, you don't really go to wine tasting by yourself normally, but you usually bring somebody with you. So the messaging is important for a good turnout, and then the vibe. We try to create a upbeat vibe at the merchant location or for the nonprofit. If we have to, we'll bring video, we'll bring music, whatever we need to do to create a fun atmosphere. Because when you have a fun atmosphere, the wines typically taste even better, right? So that's what we try to do. I was saying when you came in here, for our wine pourers, we pay $20 an hour. They usually get a 3-hour shift. They can work as many shifts as we have available. Typically, we provide the glassware. They're only responsible for opening the wines, pouring the wines, and being sociable. That's the extent of it. And they are responsible for cleaning the glassware as needed so that we don't run out of glassware at these events. And they would be responsible for making sure the whites are chilled and the reds are open prior to the event. Just, you don't want to be serving warm white wine or cold red wine. So. And any questions on that? These are 3-ounce stemware glasses. So the reason for the 3 ounces, we pour 2 ounces. I think I was saying, each bottle is 24 ounces, so you get a 2-ounce pour, you get 12 servings per bottle. So we're very methodical when it comes to the number of wines we give away based on the number of people that come to the event. So that's why it's important for us to know how many people are going to be at the event, so we know how many wines we need to provide.
As far as a company, where do you see it in 5 years? And for your employees, where do you see them as far as growing the company? And where would you like to see your employees do? Because I heard you said that there's 2,000 small venues that you work with. So is there any traveling, so that we could get knowledgeable of these wines that we're serving or trying to grow? Because obviously we would want to know where these.
Yeah. So our wines, we ship our wines with tasting charts. So it gives you an idea of the vineyard, the types of grapes, types of foods we pair it with. So each shipment that comes to the customer, they get a informational sheet. Just tells them a little bit about the vineyard, the types of grapes, types of foods they should pair with the wine. And every month it's different. It's not like we're shipping from Australia this month. You might get 2 reds from Australia and 2 whites from Oregon. You might get 2 reds from Chile and 2 whites from Europe. So to us, it gives the customer an opportunity to sample 24 wines over a course of 12 months that they typically wouldn't have access to, because you're not going to be able to buy these wines in Total Wine or anything like that. So it gives them an opportunity to broaden their palette of wines. And we also have a training every Saturday. We have, on our video here, we have a gentleman named Jerry Greenfield. He's called the Wine Whisperer, wrote a book called The Wine Whisperer. He's the one that handpicks these wines out for us. So the wine club has been in business for 3 years now. So we've been shipping wine for the last 2 years in the U.S. We have a 95% reorder rate over a 3-year period, which is a testament to the quality of the wine. People aren't going to continue to pay for the wine every month if the wine was no good. We're not going to have that kind of reorder rate, right? So the good thing is when somebody asks you, I don't drink. So when somebody asks me what's the quality of the wine, I said, listen, I don't drink, but I can tell you we wouldn't have a 95% reorder rate if the quality wasn't there. So they like what they're receiving. Right now, shipment of wine to consumers' doors is only 1% of the marketplace. So you ask me what the growth is, it's huge. It's phenomenal. The U.S. just became the #1 wine consumption country out of all countries in the world, even over France. We just became the #1 wine consumption country. So it's a huge marketplace in the U.S. The only 2 states we don't deliver wine into is North Dakota and Utah.